Hello, this is Rachel Krager Ireland in Strong City, Kansas, and I'm going to review for you today the Jungian Tarot um, by Robert Wang. And the art on the box here is really beautiful. I think people make a big deal out of the box. I don't know why, but in particular, two things about this box. I, like I said, the art on the front is what drew me to this deck and why I bought it. And some of that art is not in any of the cards, unfortunately. I like the art on the box better than the cards. On the back, it says Dr. Robert Wang developed the Jungian Tarot as a visual gateway into the complexities of Jungian psychology to aid in the process of active imagination proposed by Carl Jung. The 22 major arcana represent Jungian archetypes of the collective unconscious. The figures are visually presented with archways and circular mandalas, which aid in meditation. The deck is a companion to the Jungian Tarot Trilogy by Robert Wang. And I guess you really need to get the book, at least one of the books, if not all three of them, because um, I'm really wishy-washy about this deck, and maybe if I had the books, I'd like it better. I don't know. I keep changing my mind because I decided I hate it. I started looking at it today to show you, and uh, I don't hate it so much. There's some cool art. This is I'll just start showing you the major arcana. The minor arcana, not a lot to go on. They're kind of nice images, but um, not that great. And here, I really like this. Um, yeah, the High Priestess. Now, this is kind of interesting. This is one of the things that kind of got me caught up because this is the archetype of the anima. So this is like the essential feminine, right? This is what it's all about in femininity. And the description here, it's associated with the planet Neptune. He's got astrological associations for all the cards, and I think that's cool. Change, fluctuation, everything false, deception, delusion, dreams, schemes of all kinds, but also profound wisdom in an eccentric person, theatricality, music, artistic and literary genius, love of mystery, eroticism, social unrest, mobs of the common people. And the last sentence in every description is usually the negative side of it. And that's true for both the male and masculine and the feminine archetypes. But um, I don't understand why femininity is associated, most importantly, with deception and delusion. And there's probably some Jungian reason, but to me, it just seems like what it's really about is that masculinity is the standard norm, and everything else that is different. Um, and I don't think that holds universally. It might be the experience of being a man, but that's not what it is to be a woman. That's the Empress. And note, she's the archetype of the mother, and the moon, we'll come to later, is the deadly mother. And I thought it was kind of interesting contrast between those two. That's the Emperor. Here's the Hierophant. Kind of cool art, kind of cool symbology, and they claim the symbology, or the the Robert Wang claims this is actually better than the standard like Rider Waite deck, and that those decks were um, not as good as these because they researched the Kabbalah and Hermetic stuff more thoroughly in designing this deck. And I put these two together, the Lover and the Devil, and I thought they were interesting contrasts, how they're kind of the reverse of each other. So I put those out of order. Here we have the Chariot. Some of these drawings I think are a little bit stilted, but yeah, they're kind of interesting too. Nice colors. Um, Some of them I thought they kind of surprised me. This is Justice, and she's in the church. Go figure. Um, Hanged Man. I love this death card. It's pretty cool looking. Notice the people are all very, very fair skinned, and that doesn't particularly appeal to me. I just don't. I'd rather see a world that is more like the actual world. Here's the Deadly Mother, the moon, the archetype of the Deadly Mother. And he says about this one, oh, and by the way, this guidebook, pretty minimal. Not very much information on each card. But there again, I think you just have to get the book. Okay. Archetype of the Deadly Mother, illusion, deception, dark dreams, and changing moods. A test of the hero, maternal instinct, menstruation, childbirth, the home, the house, travel and change, rhythm, fantastic visions welling up from the imagination, blind terror. Okay, so this is cool. I love this picture. Um, it's a little bit amusing to me that the Deadly Mother is an older woman because, like in Wicca, the mother is this would be a crone, right? The woman with the wild gray hair, and really a different archetype. But okay, so here she is. She's got like kind of a lot of makeup and this like weird little thing on her skin. So it's like no amount of makeup can make your skin look good when you're the Deadly Mother. Um, what I bristle at is illusion, deception, dark dreams, moods, all this stuff is much more relevant to this Deadly Mother than maternal instinct, menstruation, and childbirth. Well, if you're a woman, menstruation for most women is really, it's not like associated with blind terror and illusions and deceptions. It's just a part of ordinary life. Um, and maternal instinct is I don't understand why that's associated with the Deadly Mother and not just the mother. Um, it maybe is more relevant to your understanding if you are a man and you don't necessarily experience maternal instinct, although I'm not sure I would agree with that. But if maternal instinct, but like maybe to that person, when you have maternal instinct in your world, it's scary because it might mean that a woman is in power or something. I don't know. It's just I'm having trouble with this deck. Then we get into the minor arcana, and I pulled out all the ones that I thought had more relevant imagery. These are the the people. Uh, they have kind of dated haircuts, and I think this deck was it's an older deck. It has been out of print, I believe. It was for some time and is now available again. And the only year I can find is really tiny print at the bottom of the cards. I can't read it. I think it's in the 80s, like 86. And, these would probably be good 80s haircuts. So there are the swords. The sword family. They were kind of unhappy. And then the aces I thought were pretty, had some nice imagery and cool looking. How about this? The I forget that word. The pentacles, kind of cool. They don't look like anything, but they're just kind of cool looking. And the cups look like cups. And then it gets into all these. See, there's really not very much that there's not much to go on in the minor arcana. So I don't find that I'm able to look at the card and get a sense of what it might signify. Um, so I don't know if you even want to see all of them. Here's all the cups. Kind of nice art. Kind of, and a little bit of, obviously we have elements. That gives us a little bit, but there's so much more to the cards than just the elements, but he doesn't show us much more. And then let's skip ahead to some articles. So, and then skip to some wands. So, I don't know, because I kind of decided that I hated this deck, and then as I'm looking through them and sorting them, maybe I thought, well, there's some cool stuff in there and some interesting um, ideas that you could work with, but I don't really see this ever being a practical deck for me to use, and I find it a little bit dated, and I I just don't think it reflects a world that is the world that I want to build my consciousness around. But hey, why not pick out a card? I'll shuffle these. I'll pick out a card for everybody who's looking at this. And you might be thinking about getting this deck, and you could have a different opinion than I have. I don't assume. Oh, who jumped out? This is the Empress. I love the Empress. And associated with Venus, the planet. It's the archetype of the mother. Um, you might know the Empress. He says fruitfulness and luxury, all things gracious and beautiful, expansiveness, success, order, hope, optimism, love, jewelry and ornaments, gracious but somewhat patronizing, at an extreme, self pity, vanity, sensuality, self indulgence. So there you go. I think of the Empress as being more like, how would I say it? Like Mother Nature, like in Rider Waite, she's just very sensuous, and this is he kind of sensuous, but she's like hanging out in the woods, and she's all lounging, and this is she's in a more formal position, and uh, she looks more, well, she's royal. I mean, she's an empress, give her that. Doesn't say anything about the dragon behind her, which I think is pretty interesting. What does that say to me? There's a lot beneath the depth. In the depths, beneath the surface, there's stuff going on, and could be like deep instinct, could be fiery, could be um, yeah, and there again, you get into the unconscious, like this, like stuff that uh, we've kind of learned and inherited from before we were even here and conscious. But there's there are things down there in the depths that um, might affect us here today in this beautiful and um, sunny, lush setting that she is sitting in. So that's our card. That's for all of us and all of you who chose to watch this video for this long. Um, I don't know if you have a different take on this deck. I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And yeah, you can also see more about me and my holistic writing and practice at my blog, holisticflinthills.wordpress.com, and my more general blog is veronicasgarden.wordpress.com. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks. Bye.